If the Big Bang did not happen, then evolution logically cannot be possible. Evolution is not just the development of life on Earth. To believe in evolution, you must believe that the universe began with the Big Bang, and this is how the universe and planets were formed before there was life. And then after life began evolution, then made life forms more complex. The Big Bang theory is based on observations of shifts in the wavelength of light that means that the universe is expanding. This is true. Evolutionists, however, explain this by claiming that in the distant past, all matter was concentrated in one location, and then there was a Big Bang. This explosion caused all matter in the universe to be hurled away from the center. The term Big Bang is quite an understatement considering the amount of matter in the universe. There are 100 billion galaxies, and each galaxy has between 10 million and 1 trillion stars. Our Milky Way galaxy contains between 200 and 400 billion stars and is only one of the 100 billion galaxies. Our sun is a typical star and is so big that 1/300,000 Earths could fit inside. All of this matter is in 100 billion galaxies, each containing billions of stars, where each of these stars is the size of 1/300,000 Earths. These numbers are staggering to try to understand or comprehend. Yet, the Big Bang theory states that all of this matter was concentrated at one location in the distant past, and the explosion sent this matter across the universe. Following the explosion, there is believed to have been clouds of cold gas and dust that somehow became compressed to form a star. Our sun is believed to have been born about 4.6 billion years ago from the gravitational collapse of a vast cloud of gas and dust. Material in the center of the cloud was squeezed so tightly that it became hot enough to ignite nuclear fusion. The sun fuses hydrogen atoms to make helium in its core. It fuses about 600 million tons of hydrogen every second, yielding 596 million tons of helium. The remaining 4 tons of hydrogen are converted to energy, which makes the sun shine. The sun has enough hydrogen to burn for several billion more years. Without the sun, there is no life, and this must be how the sun was formed for evolution to be true. But this is not agreed upon, and how this much matter could have gravitational collapse to form a sun that will burn for billions of years is not well understood. One of the biggest problems with all of this is that explosions cause things to get further and further away from each other. In the Big Bang, the explosion was so large that it has caused all of the matter in the universe to spread across the universe, but as they are expanding and spreading away, the gravity pulls them back together to make stars, planets, solar systems, and galaxies. I like a quote from an astrophysicist that if they weren't there, it would be easy to explain why not. So, for the Big Bang to have happened, all of the matter contained in a billion galaxies, each with billions of stars, and each star the size of millions of planets, was all at one location in the distant past. How did all the matter get there in the first place? The explosion was so big it sent all the gases and dust that makes the billions of stars in a billion galaxies across the universe. The gases and dust after this event, and only after being light years away from each other, then had a gravitational collapse to form each star. This is the opposite of what we know about explosions. Things get further from each other. Do you believe the gravitational forces between the molecules of gases and dust, millions of light years away from the explosion, remember that is the distance light will travel in millions of years, was strong enough to make stars? Do you know how far apart all these molecules would have been after traveling millions of light years after the explosion? Do you believe gravity could pull these back together? Do you believe the gravitational forces became so strong to start nuclear fusion at the center of the star? Do you believe enough of this material was brought together by gravitational forces for each of the stars to continue nuclear fusion for billions of more years? If we didn't have galaxies, stars, and planets, it would be easy to explain why not, because exploded things don't form organized systems. The Big Bang theory is the opposite of common sense, and thinking about the details makes it seem even more unbelievable. However, the discovery of dark energy has changed everything for the worse for evolutionists. Mysteries of the universe were discussed in Smithsonian Magazine in the article Dark Energy, the Biggest Mystery in the Universe. Here is a central problem. The Big Bang is described essentially as an enormous explosion. Since matter attracts other matter through gravity, and since the universe is full of matter, the gravitational attraction of matter would be expected to be slowing down the expansion of the universe. The problem is that the universe isn't slowing down, it's speeding up. We are told that the Big Bang happened over 13 billion years ago, and this continued expansion of the universe seems to defy the law of gravity. This is because the gravity force between everything would be making everything slow down. Now that we have the technology to know for sure that things are not slowing down, we need to explain how this can happen, since it is the opposite of what should be happening with gravity. The explanation has become the existence of something that cannot be seen. Since it is not seen, it is called dark energy. Well, since the expansion of the universe is speeding up, the dark matter must be acting opposite of gravity and is like a continuing, never-ending explosion which has been lasting all of these 13 billion years. One crazy fact about all of this is that there must be so much of this dark matter to make this happen that the experts think that as much as 95% of all of the matter in the universe is this dark matter. Dark matter is now thought to be the dominant force in the universe. It is not gravity. Dark energy is called dark because we cannot see it the way we can see other matter. We cannot see it or measure it or explain it. It's dark. It is 95% of all of everything in the universe and is the main force of the universe, but we do not understand it. It is an invention of the mind to explain why what we expect to see in the universe, slowing down, is not what is seen. Evolutionists have been forced to explain what is observed in the universe by explaining it with something that cannot be seen or measured. What we have always known as matter in the universe is made up of atoms and molecules. We experience these with touch, sight, hearing, and smell. Dark energy is something completely different, and we cannot know that it is there because it cannot be sensed. Gravity between matter would make the universe expansion slow down. Dark matter, whatever it is making the universe expansion speed up. One amazing part of this is that the universe is expanding so fast against the force of gravity that there must be 20 times more dark energy than there is matter. So one problem with the Big Bang is understanding how organization could come after this explosion. A second problem with the Big Bang is that there must be something other than matter and gravity to explain the continuing expansion of the universe, and this something else is now called dark energy. A third problem comes from thinking about both of the first two problems. Before we knew how fast the universe is expanding, the explanation for how we now have galaxies and solar systems was that the force of gravity between all of the molecules of galactic dust brought all of the matter together to make planets, moons, and stars. This is a problem all on its own. Now we have an even bigger problem with this because gravity is not the main force in the universe. The main force in the universe is dark energy, and this works opposite of gravity, and there is 20 times more of it working opposite of gravity. So now we cannot understand how the explosion of the Big Bang could make the organization of the universe because there is too much dark energy, making things continue to expand and explode away from each other. And this is still going on. The existence of the universe has always been explained by the force of gravity between matter bringing things together after the Big Bang. Now we know dark energy is the opposite of gravity, and there is so much of it that it is acting against gravity, and the expansion of the universe is speeding up. Dark energy is dominant over gravity, and there is so much more of it that the Big Bang cannot be understood because dark energy would prevent gravity from making things come together in the universe after the Big Bang. Common sense tells us that explosions don't make organized galaxies and solar systems. Common sense makes us really question explanations with things that cannot be seen or measured. Common sense tells us that gravity could not make the universe against the much more powerful dark energy. It's a dark world out there. It's dark and scary. Everything we have been told about the Big Bang does not make sense and cannot be understood because dark energy cannot be seen or touched. Now matter itself does not matter. Evolution cannot be true if the Big Bang did not happen. It is a necessary condition. You do not need to be an astrophysicist or cosmologist to know if the Big Bang did not happen, then evolution logically cannot be possible.